group of people, the Palestinians, in one place, one people, and documented by the massive act of violence that is committed by the Israelis in the last 3 months. So I know the International Court of Justice, highest in the United Nations, but it doesn't really have a good. Tell us a little bit about the International Court of Justice and why the case of South Africa is different and has a chance than the other ones that did not work. Maybe once the International Court of Justice will work. So give us some context.
Sure. Okay. So when the United Nations was formed back after World War II, they also created as their official court the International Court of Justice. And the whole purpose of post-World War II international law, as I make my students repeat every day, the whole purpose is what? Peaceful resolution of conflict. That's the goal. The idea is that we're not supposed to do what we did before World War II and resort to arms and weapons and killing and so forth. And so the International Court of Justice is supposed to be the primary place where states and governments take their disputes. And it could be disputes about, let's say, border issues. It could be issues about treaties. But this is the place where they're supposed to go.
This is state by state, not individuals.
Correct, right. This is adjudication state by state. And every state that is a member of the United Nations agrees implicitly to the jurisdiction of the International Court of Justice. Additionally, the International Court of Justice is empowered to resolve disputes if there are certain treaties that are also negotiated that say, we're going to let the International Court also handle this. Right? So this is the primary body. And what South Africa did was to bring a case for preliminary jurisdiction and for preliminary ruling by the Court of Justice to argue that Israel has violated the Genocide Treaty, a treaty that South Africa and Israel have all ratified and recognized as valid treaties that they are going to follow.
It's interesting. I had to interrupt you, but that particular treaty was because of what happened in the Holocaust to the Jews in Europe.
Exactly.
And then the children of the Holocaust are committing the same thing.
Yes, what I find ironic in this whole case, I'm old enough to remember apartheid in South Africa. When South Africa regime was a horribly apartheid racist regime. And to now see South Africa have the moral high ground and bringing a claim of genocide against Israel. I mean, this is something that I would have never thought growing up that I would see. But what's happening here is that it's arguing that it is violating the Genocide Treaty, a treaty of which Israel agreed to support and of which it issued no reservations. And what we mean by that, Israel didn't say, well, we support the treaty, but we don't support all of it. So it endorsed the whole thing. Additionally, there's this principle in international law called jus cogens, principles of law that every country must follow no matter what. And this is also a product of World War II, where in Nuremberg, in the famous Nuremberg trials, which put the Nazis on trial, what the Allies said and what the courts argued is that there are certain acts, crimes against humanity, that are just inherently wrong. And what's happening here is that South Africa is saying, both based on treaty and on this principle of jus cogens, we believe that Israel is committing genocide. And first, they're asking for a preliminary ruling. The preliminary ruling saying, stop what you're